Okay, it's me, LH Music, part 3 of my final closing time factor Friday video culture thoughts. And continue with this part 2 of War on Women. Here's back. Take a look and watch this right before your very eyes.
Wow. Mitt Romney's wife, Ann, has not worked a day in her life. Let me tell you something. I like Ann, I think, more than I like Mitt. Ann's a pretty strong woman. And by the way, did you notice that they're attacking a woman who suffers from a debilitating disease?
Not disabled, but she has diabetes.
Oh no, she doesn't have diabetes, no. What does she have?
She has MS.
MS.
Oh, yeah.
Here they're attacking a stay-at-home
mom who's raised 5 kids, but just has MS.
She just no big deal. She's out. She has MS.
I mean, it's cute what she does.
She raised 5 boys, and they ridicule her.
It's adorable.
You don't say.
Will the press even do anything like that?
No, we're not.
Not a bit.
This is bad. I mean,
It's really bad.
You're as you're trying to pitch your sell to women across America, it's like Republicans have a war on women. You're this insulting. This is the attitude they carried throughout the entire campaign. They always demean the stay-at-home mom. It's always a secondary choice. It's something they don't like. And then, here it is in its most overt stance. And immediately the administration's like, well, she's an advisor, and we don't agree with these comments. Really? Because you didn't have any problem with going all over Mitt Romney about the Etch-a-Sketch, which was just an advisor. You think Mitt Romney woke up in the morning and said, I hope one of my advisors calls me an Etch-a-Sketch on TV today? Of course not. But they have absolutely no problem exploiting that comment like crazy. Yet, when it comes to one of their advisors, basically telling the entire group of millions of stay-at-home moms that they're not working every day. Oh, that's basically the media just ignores.
And then she backs off by saying, sort of justifies it by saying,
well, I'm just saying that she doesn't work in addition to taking care of. She doesn't work outside the home in addition to.
Ask how many women would prefer to stay home all day with their children, or would they rather have a break and out into the workplace? I mean, they'd rather have a break. I don't guarantee you a lot of them will say, yeah, I'd rather have the break to get out into the workplace.
That's the amazing thing about this is, and I'm not saying this because my wife is listening to my wife. I will tell you this. Last week, I stayed home. It was my vacation.
I got news. Did you do it alone without Tanya there? Because, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Try it without Tanya there.
She's like,
for a week and see what happens.
Oh, the house would be on fire.
Yeah, it would.
And we're doing a show tonight on GBTV about Louis Farrakhan. This show, we talked to our security advisors, and when we were saying, we need to expose Louis Farrakhan and what's going on there, they said, look at the benefits of return to what it's going to cost you. These guys are not to be trifled with. They're very, very dangerous. And we decided to go ahead with it and do the show because we feel it's a really important show to do. We face real serious problems every day. Pat and I have talked about, we come home and we feel like we've been, on a battlefield all day, especially when we were in New York, because it really is bad, and we are really fighting a war here. We lose our lives, our fortunes. We're fighting a war. I would rather take on Louis Farrakhan every day than and raise and home.
You're not gonna do this.
It's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
There's a lot of women that don't necessarily want to do that, like Pat was saying. They love to take it. And here's what they get on top of it.
There is no, like my wife always tells me, I have no time off. I have 0 time off. I'll come home and say, I've been there 12 hours, 13 hours. Yeah, I don't have any off. I live here 24 hours.
Wow. Seriously. You know what my wife said to me last week? My wife said to me, "Oh, this is very vacation." I'm like, well, I don't know, but we were trying to save some money. That's what I'm saying. Yes, you know what this vacation's been? Exactly the same for me.
I know. That's true.
Except that she has an extra kid at home. You take care of it.
Yeah.
She's just gonna do it. We don't even.
That's worse.
I don't even dwell on it. The point is, it's so incredibly insulting. You want to talk about a war on women? Here it is. Not only did they say that to Anne Romney, but then they take everybody who works at home, everybody who is raising their children, everybody who is homeschooling, every woman who is strong and stays at home. They're now adding on top of it the real war, which is the subtlety of the demeaning and the degrading of those women and their choices. You may not want to make that choice, that's fine, but they demean and degrade. So the strong woman who stands at home and stays at home and homeschools their children, then what do they do? Led by these same people, they then say, oh, well, okay, well, you're just a human. Oh, okay, oh, yeah, you got it right, there's 5 boys. I know that's so tough, but what we're doing over here is important. Although, wow.
Thanks a lot, Glenn. Well, I think we better find out what it is about war on women and all that stuff. So, trust me, on my Time Factor radio show this weekend. You don't want to know about this one, but these anyways. Thanks a lot, Glenn. Oh boy. Anyways, boy, moving right along. And here's your worst nightmare. Ladies and gentlemen, jury, I bet that Bias Bash is guilty. That's right, Bias Bash is guilty. Whatsoever. Take a look at this outrageous thing. And you don't want to know about this one. So take a look, watch this.
Justin, great to see you.
Great to be here.
Tell me about Hillary Clinton. What's your beef? How's the media handling it?
Oh, I love Hillary, come on. The main beef that I have right now is the continuing stream of stories that are talking about the possibility of a brokered convention. Now, one of the 2 common themes that these stories all have is, one, they don't really quote anybody who's currently serving on record, and that should be a red flag. And 2, they have a little paragraph that serves as a bit of a disclaimer saying, no one really thinks that this is actually going to happen. So it raises a really obvious point that if no one really thinks that this is going to happen, why are we talking about it? And, the answer to that is pretty simple. In this situation, the media is showing their most inherent bias, which is toward sensationalism. They were faced with a daunting task of covering a campaign that could have been pretty boring between 2 ho-hum candidates who didn't really have the support of their most vocal base. So instead, they are trying to portray it as something that's a little more interesting, a little more captivating by adding in useless drama into this race.
Is it ever going to change?
That's a good question. And, this race carries something a little more crass, I believe. When you write for web, you know that there are certain names that you can drop that will get you more page hits. I know that when I write stories about Chris Christie or Mitch Daniels or Sarah Palin, I'll usually stumble into a goldmine and have my viewership rise through the roof. And magically, these stories somehow are able to invoke all 3 of those names. So it really is, it's good. It's a good journalistic parlor game. It's good to play when you're, drinking with your journalism buddies, but it's not really a news story.
So you're writing with those things in mind. Can you blame the other media?
No, I can't. But at the same time, this conversation has kind of veered out of control. If Romney loses Michigan tonight, the race isn't going to be over for him We're not going to go to a convention without a candidate. We're likely not going to have the people in the back smoky rooms trying to decide who is going to be drafted to fill in for him. I believe the race is going to continue, and I don't think we're really going to see a brokered convention. And I think that people need to really be more vocal about that possibility before they kind of mouth off and talk about the admittedly appealing brokered convention scenario.
Well, F and B, now we've done both sides, because I personally have talked about the brokered convention. I even talked about it in a sit-down I had with Governor Jeb Bush, former Florida governor, and he basically, excuse me?
You're different, you're different.
Well,
I wouldn't say different if I were you.
You decide, but he basically said if all 4 candidates stayed into convention, it is a possibility. But this was his time to run, and he doesn't see himself as a candidate. But boy, it would be exciting between he and Mitch Daniels and others. And who knows what Chris Christie really wants to do. You hope, as a political watcher, that the excitement lasts as long as possible. Don't you? Secretly inside? Come on.
I do. I'm a political junkie. I came to Washington, D.C. because I like politics. But at the same time, I realized that a lot of this talk really is just kind of speculation and really doesn't deserve a lot of the attention it's getting. And at some point, you kind of have to be honest with your listeners or your viewers.
All right, which you seem like a guy of integrity. So,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I want to promote Fox News Watch, because it's these media opinions that are important. You really do feel that it's good to talk about it, because this is what John Scott does on Fox News Watch. Take a look at how the media is handling certain issues. Do you think that people pay attention to those opinions of media watchers?
That's a good question. Everybody says, and everybody has been saying for years, that they want a higher level of discourse. However, no one really knows when that higher level really existed. We've had sensationalism for years. Even Edward R. Murrow, who's kind of a patron saint for reporters. A lot of people ignore the fact that he used to have a background as an entertainment reporter. So, while I think a lot of people would like to see a more elevated form of journalism, I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon.
All right, well, as long as we stay employed, right, Justin?
That's true. That's the important part.
We love what we do. Great to have you here today. Thanks so much for...
All right. That's by a smash catch John Scott for an all-new Fox News Watch Saturdays on Fox News Channel. Anyways, when we come back, well, I hate to break this to you, but oh yes, we're stuck on this one. Oh, let's see. When we come back, rush and close it off with a sneak preview of TimeFactor radio and television show, and Monday's final close of TimeFactor video comes right thoughts. So don't you dare touch that dial, whatever it is. Final close of TimeFactor Friday video comes right thoughts continues after this.